Hello and welcome to a webisode edition of Unpeeled. I'm Liam Crowley, and over the next month we'll be having several webisodes discussing entertainment news that wouldn't normally fit into a regular Unpeeled episode. Today's topic is Netflix's hit docuseries, The Tiger King: Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. The show has taken over the entertainment world since it was released on Netflix on March 20th. The show tells the story of private zoo owner Joe Exotic and his rise and fall in the world of big cats. Here to break down the show's success is our television reporter, Patrick Gunn, and our pop culture reporter, Ella Mulligan. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this webisode edition. I'm excited to talk about Tiger King.
Yeah, it's a wild show.
Very crazy. We love to see it.
So, Pat, I want to go to you first. Why is this show, a docuseries, going so crazy viral?
Well, I think the first thing that you have to consider, and with any show that brings a hit at this point, is that the coronavirus outbreak is keeping people inside. So that means more time to binge a show like The Tiger King, which it fits that kind of format. Only 7 episodes, about 45 minutes per. So with so much free time, it's a pretty easy, safe binge. But also, people watch docuseries to learn about stuff, and it's pretty safe to say for me that I've never seen anything like this criminal world going on with these exotic animals being sold and traded, and the politics of this world. It's crazy. And not just with Joe, but with everybody else involved, with Doc Antle, Carole Baskin, Jeff Lowe, Joe's political campaign, the murder attempts, the drama that went on behind the scenes, the horrible conditions that have been really undercovered through this. It's insane what was going on, and the access that people were able to get during this series is insane, and I think that's kind of building part of the intrigue with this.
Yeah, the show takes many wild twists and turns that when I was watching episode 1, I could have never expected it would have gone through those basically twists and turns. But as you mentioned, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in this show. Why is the show seen as controversial to some?
The main reason it's controversial is the method it's going off of. Some ethical reasons why people think that the show is kind of flawed. Obviously, the one thing is that they're interviewing people while they're drunk, and mainly during Joe's or high when Joe is client. And that's a little bit of a no-no there, but also the people involved with it, and particularly Carole Baskin and Doc Antle, both said that the show was inaccurate, and they were kind of misled by the reporters. Now, the directors involved disagreed with them and said that they were doing their job, but they were criticizing it openly for those main reasons. There is some things there that is a little incriminating, and they did use some private webcams here and there, so it's a little understandable why people wouldn't like it. And to put it bluntly, these people are kind of looked unflatteringly in the docuseries, so it makes sense why they wouldn't appreciate that.
Yeah, now, Ella, after we just talked about those things, I want to turn over to you. Given everything we've talked about with the show and the controversy surrounding it, what do you think that this says about the nature of just our type of entertainment culture?
Yeah, I think this is a very telling show and a very telling moment in our time of what the United States looks for in its entertainment. Apparently, we love to watch a good crash and burn of someone's life. We love to see the craziness of these people owning so many big cats, which people would never, ever have a chance to own. And just to see like the worst sides of people come out and just explosive drama. I mean, we see the popularity of a show like The Kardashians, where it's catfight after catfight and crazy story. And that Tiger King is that to an extreme level, bringing in murder and just craziest people you could ever think to find. And also, I think, as Patrick was saying, the coronavirus has had a big impact on this, because when you're trapped in your house and it literally feels like an apocalypse. You want to take away that attention from how awful you're feeling about being stuck inside and be like, okay, this is something that isn't happening to me. Let's see how bad like this can get. So I think it's pretty insane that we're looking at something like this.
It is pretty wild. And I would agree that definitely the popularity has been heightened due to the coronavirus, due to everyone being stuck inside. Now, Patrick, I want to go back to you. Is there potential for a second season of Tiger King and more of the, I don't want to say popular, but very infamous Joe Exotic?
Infamous is a good word to describe it. Actually, this is actually new today. or whenever this is taping, Jeff Lowe is said that on Twitter that there's going to be an 8th episode for this coming Tiger scene coming out sometime within the next couple of weeks. What it's going to be about, and Netflix, who knows? And Netflix has not confirmed. This is just from Jeff Lowe's Twitter account. But in terms of future seasons, there's definitely more to go with this story because it's an ongoing story. This isn't a series that's happening talking about stuff that's like 30 years ago or 40 years ago or a decade or 50 years ago. This is something that's been happening this decade now. It's currently involving with Joe, a spoiler if you haven't seen it, Joe's still in prison, working with PETA to try and get other people involved with private zoos taken down. Maybe sort of like his weird revenge tour, if you will. And so what's good? There's also stuff happening with Jeff Lowe's zoo, with Doc Antle, with Carole Baskin, the murder case for not murder case, but the disappearance of Don Lewis case has been opened up because of everything here. So there's definitely more to talk about, and that's not even going through all the unused footage that the directors of the series have. So I'm wondering what you guys think would happen from another season of this.
I personally think that it could go many different ways. Ella, what are your thoughts on a potential second season?
I think they'd be crazy not to make a second season, even if they're just looking at this from a business standpoint, to have this show be probably the top streamed Netflix title in the United States right now. They'd be crazy not to make a second season of it. Everyone wants to know what's going to happen with Joe Exotic and him trying to take down all these other wildlife zoos, and if he ever finds a way to get back at Carole Baskin, if Carole's second husband is actually missing, if people can figure stuff out with that. I mean, personally, I would love a second season. It's one of my favorite shows that I've watched so far, so they'd be crazy not to do it.
And it would be interesting if they took a bit of an anthology approach and maybe didn't tell a story about the same characters, but a similar situation with, they're not even characters, they're real people. So a similar situation with other groups of real people. Ella, I want to wrap up with you. We have to talk about the whole Carole Baskin and her second husband situation. That was such a fundamental part of the show. I have to get your opinion on this because the internet has been divided. Did Carole kill her husband and feed him to the tigers?
I mean, personally, I'm going to say she did. It's just a little too sketchy the way that things played out. I mean, he just disappears after he was about to file for divorce from her, and she was going to lose basically everything. And just the way that everything played out in the show, I'd be a little suspicious personally. I'd want to look into it a bit more.
Patrick,
I see you shaking your head. Do you disagree, or what's your stance on it?
I'm frowned upon these accusations here. No, I will say this from the information presented in the show, it definitely seems likely that something's missing here with this case. What happened? He's going to Costa Rica, that no one's seen it ever again. It's definitely things that are really weird little gaps in the story that I would definitely love to see if they can look in and uncover what happened because of curiosity's sake. However, just to say that Carole Baskin did it is a little bit unfrowned upon. There just isn't enough information to say that. And the fact that Carole Baskin is getting so much attention to me when there are other people involved with this that are doing insane things that aren't like Doc Antle, like Jeff Lowe, it's crazy to me that she's the one getting so much attention over those two.
Well, perhaps we will have some of those questions answered in the final episode that's being released in a couple weeks. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this special Unpeeled webisode edition of Tiger King. We'll be back hopefully sometime next week with another webisode. Topics are still up in the air, but we will be sure to bring you guys more online content as the weeks progress. That's been Ella Mulligan and Patrick Gunn. I've been Liam Crowley. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.